Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and any other non-denominational religious holiday.
Festus!
Festus.
Crazy Kwanzaa.
Yes, I am Alex.
I'm Stu.
And I am Will.
And welcome back to Animation Triad for our impromptu holiday special of sorts. Woohoo! And today we thought we'd take a look at a personal holiday-themed movie of mine, Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh,
yeah.
so good.
Yes. Ancillarily connected to the whole Christmas motif, but it's still got enough of the whole divine spirit and...
Very much so, actually.
It's a lot of that. A little divine spirit of coincidence as well.
Well, I mean, the ending certainly seems like, wow, this is actual God intervening and saying, oh, no, you don't.
Oh yeah, we've got a little ground to cover. So here we go. Tokyo Godfathers, directed by the legendary Satoshi Kon. His third movie that he directed, and also helped write as well. For those of you who don't know, Satoshi Kon, a man taken before his time. Yeah,
Sadly.
pancreatic cancer. It's
Oh.
yeah,
The bitch.
he definitely. Some of his past works, well, a little bit on the psychedelic side. He was an animator and director for a few episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure back in 1994.
Yeah.
Yep. And from there, well, he directed such family-friendly classics as Perfect Blue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not one for the kiddies.
If you couldn't tell, sarcasm. So, and then Millennium Actress, and
Great film.
yeah, and then the acid-induced inspiration for Christopher Nolan's Inception, Paprika.
Oh,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
You need to see that, Will. We
I
need
do.
to show that to you.
We will show it to you, and then right afterwards, we will ask, are you mentally healthy still?
We'll watch
Yes.
it twice. We'll watch it sober once, then we'll watch it on all kinds of drugs.
Yeah, that's the thing about
I'd
Coke.
be lying if I said I hadn't already beat you to that.
Oh, Stu.
And then we'll record the whole thing.
Yeah.
all
By
for
the way,
that.
Animation Triad does not condone or endorse trying to view any or all animation-based entertainment on substances, legal or otherwise.
It don't hurt, though.
It may not hurt,
But
but...
we don't endorse it at all.
It may not hurt, but for guys like Cone, who intentionally explore some of the darker themes of the human psyche and the human condition in
yeah.
very vivid and nightmarish details, any buzz can...
It might be one
Make it
toke
work.
over the line for you.
Yeah. So anyways, on to the topic at hand, Tokyo Godfathers.
Yo.
Released in Japan in November 8th, 2003.
Oh.
It centers around three homeless people.
Yeah.
You have Jin, an out-of-work alcoholic, whose sob story is he was a famous bicycle racer who threw a race to get money for his terminally ill daughter, and
Right, yeah.
after that he caught
Just went
wind.
down.
Yeah. Then you've got Hannah,
Oh.
a man who self-identifies as a woman and a former drag queen performer.
Okama.
Yeah,
She
Okama.
was awesome.
Yeah. And then you have the youngest member, Miyuki.
Yeah.
A rebellious girl who hated her father to the point where she assaulted him. I won't spoil with what or what the outcome was. That's for you to find
Or
out.
the who, you won't reveal the who, the how, and the why?
Pretty much.
It's not exactly clue-level murder, but her parting with her father and the family was not on good terms.
Ah, got it.
But anyways, it's Christmas Eve. These three homeless people in Tokyo are rummaging through garbage, just basically trying to survive as...
As one does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and more so in their case, when they hear something among the detritus and the garbage bags.
The worst sound known to man.
It is a baby's cry.
Oh, I was going to say Yoko Ono's music.
Okay,
You went there. You went there.
Okay, the second worst sound known to man.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Second worst. Anyways, they hear a baby cry, and they pick up the baby, and they find within it a note. Take good care of her.
Huh.
And with her, a bag of clues for them to follow to try to figure out.
Leading on an amazing adventure.
Yes.
Oh, that was
So,
so good.
and from there, the three of them set off to reunite the parent with the child, who they have dubbed Kyoko, which
What does that-
literally
yeah.
means pure child.
There we go. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because it's Christmas, and
Yep.
well, Hana is, if nothing, a massive diva for all things theatrical and
Oh, God,
emotional.
yes.
So,
But in a good way. In
Yeah,
a
very
good
much
way.
so.
in a very
yes.
good way. In a very good way. Hana is one of the absolute joys in this film. Her,
Yes. She
Uh,
is amazing.
yeah, Hana's. And the thing about Tokyo Godfathers that kind of sets it apart from other Satoshi Kon works is it's not visually a nightmarish entity unto itself like other films and works he's done in the past. Paranoia Agent.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Your Perfect Blue, Your Paprika. It's a very realistic character models and movements. But Hana is a little bit of the exception to the rule. Her facial animations are
Over the top.
Yeah, it's almost like a kabuki theater-esque.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that whenever Hana gets really, really agitated,
Uh-huh.
Hana also gets really, really animated.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
much
that's
Sort of,
so.
sort of fluidly as well.
Yeah, that's kind of true for the other cast
Jin.
members.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jin
Jin
is
towards the
Hana
very
is
end.
the
Yeah.
most obvious perpetrator of that over agitated, overly animated. Jin is a close second.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But it's always just a joy because while it is nice to see, artists, explore different realms that they may not be familiar with, in this case, Satoshi Kon going for a more realistic style, it is also nice to see them just sort of weave in those little bit of fantastical elements that really only animation can pick up on.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah, and there are elements and little sequiturs throughout the film that kind of provide that extra bit of, oddball flair throughout, but
Would you say it's kind of magical realism to some degree?
very good. I like that.
Magical
yeah.
realism.
The acceptance of magic in an otherwise normal environment. So, I mean,
I
kind
would
of...
say so.
Yeah,
I mean, let's face it. This film shows that there are some huge coincidences that
Oh,
can happen.
yeah,
it's a huge theme of the entire film.
That is one of the primary themes. Coincidences, no matter how small, and the massive repercussions and importances they play with seemingly everyone. You will, for example, the cab driver you encounter once and then
A
think
few
you'll
others.
never see him again. The fight you're having or the fight the three have with a store owner about
Oh yeah.
them being not being wanted there. So as soon as they leave,
What happens?
An
yeah.
ambulance just drives through the
right-
store.
And-
Or one of the first ones, which isn't really so much of a coincidence, is when Hana says to one of the food givers, I'm eating for two.
Oh, yeah.
yes, and then
A little while later.
The lady later sees Hana with the baby and says, he was
eating
eating
for
for
two.
two.
Yes, it is an exaggeration of real life, but again, it is in all regards absolutely true. You do.
I would even say it is realistically exaggerated.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
while these are 1 in a million chances of happening, the chances still happen.
Oh, yeah.
That-
It's a chance.
and that's another theme that plays in heavily throughout the film as well, like gambling and taking
yeah.
up chances. I mean,
Risk.
yeah,
versus
I mean,
reward.
Jin and his story of, throwing a race supposedly for the betterment of his family and the risk of,
being ousted.
or even just a simple coin flip.
Yes,
yeah.
big time.
Yeah, it shows that while there are coincidences, there is always that little random nugget of chance that is also going to, play a factor in everyone's life.
Please play that C3PO line right now.
Yes. Never tell me the odds. But
shoehorn that in somehow.
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
we got it.
Gotta get our Star Wars in, which this film did make a reference to Star Wars.
Oh,
yes.
This film also had great subtle references to other Satoshi Kon films. In the background, you see posters for Millennium Actress, Perfect Blue, old VHS tapes, in which one is literally labeled Star Wars.
Oh, speaking of the scene with the rubble, if you look closely, the scene with the rubble in it, supposedly that is the same shot for the opening for Paranoia Agent with some of the rubble in it.
Oh,
he reused it for that.
Oh, wow!
So like the burnt out building.
Yeah.
I just find those little homages that creators do to their other works. In any real medium of animation. I mean,
he does that in Paprika too.
Paprika and
there's a poster at the end of Paprika for this film.
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it's just something I love when the animators and the creators go out of their way to acknowledge, hey, it's not exactly continuity specific, but hey, it's a nice little nod. Anyways, cast because seemingly this film was not released in English, so
subtitles only, folks.
Subtitles only, but the animation isn't so wild and fast paced that you'll have an easy time with keeping up with it. So if you're a slow reader, take heart. You'll be able to keep up.
I didn't find it that hard.
No. Yeah, if this were, say, something like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, then
you're gonna have to be.
How about this?
Yeah.
It's not Lucky Star.
Oh.
I tried doing the subtitled version, subtitled Lucky Star, and it went a mile a minute.
Yeah,
I mean it was.
It's one of the reasons why I chose the English dub to view of Excel Saga over the original Japanese, because while there were great jokes specific to the Japanese dub, Excel, she just goes a mile a minute. And you can only pause because again, it's the insanity of the action and the character, but thankfully for Tokyo Godfathers, not the case. Very easy to keep.
It's very well paced too.
Oh
yeah, absolutely.
How long is the film? All right,
it clocks in at 92 minutes.
It's a good length.
Yeah, I mean,
hour and a half. Yeah.
It's a good length film, and it just wraps it up very nicely.
Yeah, it doesn't feel rushed at all.
No.
It follows a very sort of a serpentine winding rise in action, climax, resolution, but it does hit all the necessary beats well, and doesn't dawdle in one place for too long.
Well, this was written by
an example of this is for one of the jokes that I just cracked up at.
Which one?
Yeah,
you were laughing a lot.
This film made I wasn't ready to laugh at this film as much as I did, but I did.
Yeah.
One of the jokes is that they're at the burned out house, and they try out the key to the door, and
yes.
Jin goes in. Jin unlocks the door, walks through the door, which is the only thing standing of the wall of the burnt house.
Yeah.
Walks in, closes the door, goes, "Honey, I'm home," and then you pause for a second, and the door falls down.
Oh, it's great.
It's a lovely showcase of dark humor that's appropriate for the situation, and also gives it time, for the comedy to breathe.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's wonderful.
There's plenty of breathing room in this film.
Yeah,
and it's not shy about that, which I like.
Yeah. So, anyways, on to the characters. We have Jin, played by Taru Emori. Hana, played by Yoshiaki Umegaki. And Miyuki, played by Aya Okamoto. My apologies if I butchered any of those names, but I'm working on pronunciations.
I thought you did a decent enough job.
And another interesting factor I found out.
What's that?
Co-writer. because Satoshi Kon had a partner writing with
I was waiting for you to get to this.
Kyoko Nobumoto, the creator of Wolf's Rain and the head script writer of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
Yeah,
you can definitely tell.
Yeah. Because one of the strengths of the film is the characters. It's and it's not just that the characters get along. No. By and large, they are antagonistic to some degree with themselves and with everyone else that they are with. But they still remain.
They're a family of sorts. And that's a big key aspect of this film.
Yes, family. Or somewhat of a deconstruction of it. Because with this film, Satoshi Kon was looking to explore some of the negative aspects of the traditional Japanese family in a modern, day society. And
Jin's the father, Hana's the mother.
Yep.
And Miyuki is, the daughter, but it exposes that the slavish, adherence to what you think would be normal actually doesn't really hold up all that well. I mean, and in some cases it can literally drive people to suicide or
desperate acts.
Very, very desperate acts.
Families get broken up because they rely too much on the normal aspect of father, mother, child.
Yeah, and the pressures to conform and all that jazz. But out of that, breaking of the normal family unit, there does arise this, sort of need for human interaction and
the creation of a pseudo family of your own creation.
Yeah, and hence why these these three homeless bums who seemingly should not get along are willing to, bond together and learn to just
help the baby out.
It's like Hana said of Kyoko when they first found her, she is a gift from God. And so it really is. It does kind of have that divine. I don't know how to put it. Not exactly intervention, but almost like a connective spirit,
like guidance, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're all in this together, whether you know it, like it, or even want it. So you can let your own demons fester, or you can learn to confront them and move on with your life. Because
rise above yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's. I don't know. I think one of the most poignant scenes, without giving away spoilers, this is a film you really should see without too much spoiled. But
we don't want to talk too much about it because we want you to enjoy
exactly.
it.
But there was one scene early on in the film. They are scrounging through a traditional Japanese cemetery among the offerings to the dead, particularly food and other items and whatnot. And that really stood out for me because while that would most likely be considered blasphemous for not only their culture but others as well.
You don't steal from a cemetery.
You don't steal from the dead, but at the same time,
what are they going to do with it?
What are these gifts if not to provide sustenance to those in need?
I mean, I think in one way you could look at it, the irony of it is you're providing more to the dead than you are to those who are living.
And it was also interesting because they were specifically looking for baby food and nourishment for Kyoko at the time and becoming desperate for it. And lo and behold, there was a grave marker for
a baby
with a baby bottle, milk formula, and diapers.
Yes, and it's again. Divine intervention / connection.
And while it did have the comedic effect of, hey, there's a light shining on these three items, when you see the end, maybe there was more to that.
So, yeah, the film goes off at a very reasonable and well-structured pace. And also, surprisingly, throughout it, it happens to hit on some very, and the, I want to say almost dehumanization by others, either passively or actively.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
You can see that
yeah.
with a lot of people who commented on them. But here's the thing, like, none of them commented about why they have a baby.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was basically like, oh man, they smell. Ugh. And it's like, there's 3 people here and they have a baby. Does that not strike you as odd?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's maybe might play into the whole bystander effect of there's when it's just one person that notices something out of the ordinary, they might have a stronger reaction to it if it's in a massive group.
Yeah.
But again, this was a very there was a very difficult scene where some very ugly violence was displayed towards the homeless, and I don't want to say might have been cultural call out or just sort of social awareness.
I would say it would be like a byproduct of the culture.
Yeah,
well, because you adhere to such a rigid set of what society expects from you. There's obviously going to be something created from that reflects that standard.
Yeah, if you're not contributing, then you're just trash,
And,
which Jin frequently refers to himself as. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that could be said for any culture, though.
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
But
I mean,
it's very much more pronounced in Japan and in Japanese society.
Yeah, or at least is this how this film would present it?
Yeah, I could see that, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just thinking back to other scenes of like violence against homeless people. I mean, I'm thinking back to like Clockwork Orange.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's
American Psycho.
Yeah, good example.
That's actually a very good example, especially with Patrick Bateman's talking about why should I help you to this homeless man? Like, you know what? I have nothing to relate to you with, and then he just kills him.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, there's a direct. You could take a direct parallel to that almost.
Yeah, sort of.
How he talks about it.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's the difference is. Yeah, we may not. Stop and really consider the plight of these people as we constantly see them, but by the same time, we are not actively going out of our way to inflict greater harm on them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
It's a bag of suck regardless. Anyways, let's just get some of the, I guess, smaller technical details out of the way.
Okay.
So, this film had a budget of $2.4 million, American.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I imagine, it's pretty good, pretty sizable budget for, hand-drawn animated, even in, early 2000.
Yeah.
Box office return, barely over 600,000.
Ooh,
yeah.
Really? Yeah. I'm surprised.
I mean, this film, it won awards. It got Best Animated Film at the 58th Mainichi Film Awards. Regarded as one of Satoshi Kon's best, but it just goes to show sometimes your best isn't always going to be what brings in the big bucks.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you look at Studio Ghibli's films, a lot of their early stuff didn't do as well, and a lot of theirs considered classics now.
Yeah.
But it does make me wonder, what was it up against at the time, I wonder?
Yeah.
I would have to look into that a little bit further. I mean, early 2003, some trends, I imagine, were still, shifting because, for lack of a better word, Ava was still a driving force, and had some a little bit of a division of what do we want to take our films and series in now? Do we want to go the more psychological route, or do we want to try to stick to some lighthearted stuff? Hard to I don't know the way the way anime and the animation scene in Japan works, and the speed with which it gets produced on a not even just a yearly basis, but almost like every 6 months.
Yeah,
It can feel like an absolute mundane chore trying to keep track of the trends, which So, sorry, I really would rather not want to spoil this any further. So
just watch it.
We're
going to provide a link below to where you can buy it.
Amazon.com and all that, courtesy of Animation Triad.
From my perspective, these two guys have seen it multiple times. This was my first time seeing it. I went into this not expecting to laugh as much as I did.
Yeah,
you gotta watch it. You honestly have to watch it.
Yeah, it's
a great. It's been a few years since I've seen it, and I saw it with a friend. She brought it. She had an original DVD of it a while back, and I think it was my friend Maggie. She brought it over and we watched it, and I loved it. And I found it randomly at a Blockbuster when it was going out of business.
Huh.
And I bought it, and it was in very good condition, and I watched it, and I showed it to the anime club at my local library, which I helped host for a while.
Yeah.
And this is now the third time I've seen it. And
I
love it. I really do. I love Satoshi Kon's work. I have almost everything he's produced.
Definitely check out his other stuff, and hopefully his final unfinished work will hopefully get completed.
Well, I can hope so.
Sometime in the future.
What is it? Dream Machine?
Dream Machine. Yeah, that's it.
600 of 1,500 animations they've completed.
Yeah, it's a shame to have lost such a great talent. That of semi-natural causes, but still.
Well, wasn't a art book or something of his recently released? The Art of Satoshi Kon, I think, was released just recently.
Yeah.
Look it up. I saw it at a bookstore, and I should have bought it when I had the chance, but I was a little low on funds.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, my God, that man.
He definitely had a vision for the surreal, and the very hellish, but still, there was definitely traces, or rather, at its core, the humanity that he wanted to embody. And what better, film, and what better time of year to, sort of embrace, the spirit of man and
goodwill unto others. That's I think a big key part of it.
Yeah. So really, Tokyo Godfathers, check it out. You won't regret it, but I would not recommend sharing this with the little kiddies at Christmas dinner.
Yeah, this has some strong language.
Oh yeah,
some strong language.
Some things that might confuse them.
Yeah,
some anatomy.
Yeah, a little bit of nudity.
Yeah,
just
tasteful,
and you know what? It's a breastfeeding, folks. It's natural.
Yeah. It's natural. It's natural.
It's not shown to be sexualized or anything. It's natural.
Which I have to give mad props to, because the way the anime industry treats female anatomy nowadays, you'd almost think that they never even heard of what an actual woman looks like. I don't know.
It's almost as if gravity doesn't apply to some areas.
Well, that's one thing I did like about I like about Satoshi Kon's work. A lot of his characters are very realistic. They seem more natural, if you will. Look.
And I have to say, this is a very small, I guess you want to say personal preference of mine, but I love it when, Japanese animation actually goes to the length of including an actual nose on their characters. When I first got into anime, watching Pokemon and Digimon, all those years ago in middle school, I was like, okay, I'm having fun, but what is it with the little ice pick on the nose? I mean,
did someone draw on your face? You look weird.
Yeah, I honestly can say that it's probably a trend that has persisted since anime's inception.
knows when.
Yeah.
Probably since Astro Boy.
Yeah, it's
Oh, those guys had some honkers.
Well,
in
I
those.
mean,
yeah,
some of them.
Well,
I mean, look at some, what was that?
Android
Android 009, the one robot
Yeah.
with the beak of a nose.
oh yeah.
yeah, true, and I don't know, it's animation. They're allowed to take those creative liberties, but at the same time, it's also nice to shake things up with something a little more realistic.
Yeah,
I was saying. But yes, Tokyo Godfathers, check it out. You will not be sorry for it, and
It most definitely has the animation triad golden stamp of approval.
Oh
yeah,
yes.
we'd frame it in gold if we had the money or funds. At the
Yeah.
moment. Feel free to send us that if you want us to actually do
Feel
that.
free to comment, like, subscribe, and the whole kit and caboodle. We want to hear your feedback. If you've seen this movie, tell us what you think. We want to know what you think of it.
Tell us what your favorite moment in the film was.
Definitely.
Let us know. And with that, I guess we now turn it over to Mr. Stewart. What are we doing next time?
Next time, why? Seeing as how we're entering the dead of winter, we are going to be touching on something a little interesting.
Winter is coming.
Indeed it has.
No.
But along with winter,
What?
comes fire.
Ooh.
And by that I mean Ralph Blanchy's famous cartoon movie, Fire and Ice. Add in
Is
dramatic
this-
music now.
Is this going to involve like the heat miser and the cold miser?
Uh,
I had to break up the tension somehow.
But
don't
you haven't
make
done it that
me
way.
get the Yeti or the snow and
No,
abominable
no.
snowman.
No.
I will get him.
Okay, we're done. Animation Triad. I'm Alex.
I'm Stu,
And I'm enjoying this.
and we wish you a Merry Christmas
And a Happy New Year.
Eh.